So we're adding 7/10 to 29 hundredths. And in order to do that, we need to line the decimals up vertically. So first we're going to write 7/10, and then we're going to make sure that we line the decimals up like buttons on a snowman. So now we're going to write 29 hundredths right underneath so that the decimals are lined up right on top of one another. Our next step is going to be to fill in the blank spaces with zeros. So we just have one blank space in this problem, and this is just a placeholder, and it helps us keep track of where our numbers are. Our next step is going to be to add the two numbers. So we're going to go from right to left. We're going to start with 0 plus 9, which is 9. 7 plus 2 is 9. Our next step is very important. We need to bring those decimals down. Every snowman has at least 3 buttons, so we need to add our third button here, and we want all of our decimals right on top of one another vertically. Your decimals should be as perfectly lined up as you can possibly make them. Now we add 0 plus 0, and we get 0. So our answer to this problem is 0.99, or 99 hundredths. For our next example, we are going to add 48 and 26 hundredths plus 7 and 94 hundredths. So to start with, we need to line these numbers up vertically, so one is on top of the other. And our next step here will be writing down 7 and 94 hundredths. Now notice right now that the decimals are not yet lined up, which they need to be. So we're going to move over 7 and 94 hundredths so that a decimal is lined up just perfectly under 48 and 26 hundredths. Now we can draw our equal sign. And now we're going to begin to add. But before we do, we need to fill in the open space with a 0. So there's an open space right there under the 4, so we're going to write a 0 there as our placeholder. We're now going to start adding from right to left. 6 plus 4 is 10. We'll carry the 1. 2 plus 9 is 11. Plus 1 we carried over will be 12. 8 plus 7 plus 1 will give us 16. And finally, 4 plus 0 plus 1 is 5. So now as this number stands, we end up with 5,620. But we need to add in our decimals. So we need to make sure that we have 3 decimals all lined up in this problem. So we've got our buttons lined up just like they would be on a shirt, one on top of the other. So the real answer to this problem is 56 and 20 hundredths. I was a little far ahead of you on that one. It's okay.